Hey everyone, it's Father Charles here, the pastor of St. Anthony's. This video is going to help you to understand some of the procedures about the upcoming religious education year. Karen's got some helpful information for you. Thank you for allowing us to partner with you in helping to raise your kids Catholic and teach them the faith. Just want to say a few words about our COVID response. We're doing everything in our power to follow all the guidelines and procedures of the diocese, leading healthcare professionals to make for a safe environment for your kids and for the teachers. We do want to say, though, as you probably know, that there's no such thing as a totally risk-free environment. So we're going to be taking temperatures when the kids come in, hand sanitizer, masks, social distancing, and all the rest. But just know that by sending your kids to our CCD program, there is a certain level of risk that even in spite of our best efforts cannot be completely limited. So we're trying our best. Karen's worked really, really hard to create a safe environment and to pull this off this year in the midst of a difficult situation. So again, thanks for your vote of confidence in us. Karen did a survey to find out, what the level of comfort was with parents sending their kids. And by and large, most of the parents and teachers opted to have in-class sessions this year. So the other kids that don't quite feel comfortable, or families that don't feel comfortable, they'll be doing the online thing, and that's great too. But this is going to be an evolving process. Obviously, if something happens, we get a COVID case or something, God forbid, then we'll be communicating that very clearly with you and kind of adapting our practices accordingly. But it's going to be a great year. We're going to make the most of the situation, and we have wonderful teachers. We have great families here and great kids. So we know that it's going to be kind of a work in progress, but the faith is going to be transmitted to the kids. They're going to have fun in the process, and we're going to do it as safely as possible. So thank you again, and God bless you.
Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Karen Campbell, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at St. Anthony's. And I would love to welcome you to the 2020-2021 school year for religious education. It's definitely going to be a different year, but I am excited to get started, and I'm super excited for what the Holy Spirit is going to be doing in the lives of our students, our volunteers, and our families this year. So usually we would be here in the church, and we would be together during our first class of the year. But with all of the changes going on this year, I kind of felt like it would be better for me to be in the building during that time rather than over here. So we have decided that we're going to do this video so that we can get this information to you in a timely manner, some of which it's going to be really good to, I think, to get ahead of time, especially the part about the drop-off and pickup of the children. I'm going to start by going over some of the changes to the program that you will see. So for the first, one of the biggest things that I want to make sure that you know how to do is how to drop off and pick up your children during the first few weeks of class. Right now, for the month of September, we're still doing masses in the parking lot. The plan at this point is to move to masses in the church starting in October, but we are still in the parking lot now, and if we in the future do them again, we'll need to have this information. So things are going to be a little bit different. So first of all when you drop off your children, all of the drop off is going to happen at the back doors of the parish hall. So when I refer to the back doors, I'm referring to the doors that are off of Skyway Road. And the front of the building is the church side of the building, so it's my office is in the back of the building, and the front of the building is over by the church side. So when you drop off, you're going to come into the circle drive by those back doors and drop off your child. In order to keep from having too much cross traffic, I'm going to ask everybody to come into the main part of the driveway, just like you're going to go into the parking lot, and then you will just come in and then take a right into the circle drive, right up to the doors. You'll let your children out of the car. They should be ready to go as soon as they get there, so we don't back up traffic. When they get out of the car, either I will be there or Dean or Another adult will be there to take their temperature before they enter the building. They should have their masks on before they enter the building. There'll be some hand sanitizer to put on their hands, and then they will go into the building and go to their classrooms. If you feel like you want to come into the building with your child, that's fine, especially on the first day. I know sometimes it's easier to accompany your child to their class. In that case, instead of turning right into the circle drive, just go ahead and find a parking spot right there in the back part of the parking lot, and then you can go right into, just walk right into the building, the back door, in the same process that we'll take temperatures, hand sanitizer, and then you can take your child to their class. If you are attending 9 o'clock Mass, which very much encourage, then just go to Mass as usual, and at the end of Mass, you'll go through the line for communion, and then just drive out of the parking lot onto Cisna Drive, which is the other entrance to the church. Drive around to the Skyway Road entrance, and you'll just do the exact same thing that I said. So that is how drop-off should go. The big thing is that we want to just keep cars moving so that we don't back up traffic onto Skyway Road. So if you are not going to be able to have your children get out quickly, just feel free to park and have them walk into the building. So that is drop-off. As far as pickup goes, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to do is, because people will be coming to Mass at 11:30, so first of all, we're going to end about, usually we end at 11:20, we're going to end at 11:15 to give us a couple more minutes. If you have a child in kindergarten, first grade, or second grade, then you will need to pick them up at the back door. So you will just, again, follow the exact same instructions as at drop-off. Just pull into the circle drive, and the children will be out there with their teachers, and they will get into the car, and then they can go. Again, if you feel like you need to come into the building, just park in that back part of the parking lot, and you can come into the building to get them. But you don't have to do that. If you have a child in those grades, their siblings will also be instructed to go to the back door, and you will pick your whole family up there. If you have children that are in 3rd through 8th grade, then you will follow the signs. Basically, you're going to go into the parking lot and come around to the front to the handicapped area, and just when you come into the parking lot, follow the signs, and the ushers should get you to where you go. The teachers are going to bring the children out and have them stand over near where on the sidewalk near the handicap parking, and you will just drive up, pick them up, and then proceed out of the parking lot. We again want to keep this moving as quickly as we can so that by 11:30 we can start Mass. If you are attending 11:30 Mass, then just come in and park your car just like you normally would, and then we are requiring an adult to go to the sidewalk to pick up the students and accompany them back to the car. So this is true for even up through our 8th graders. We just want to make sure that there are no children just walking through the parking lot unaccompanied. After, at 11:30, when Mass is getting, or maybe just a couple minutes before Mass is getting ready to start, we will take any children that have not yet been picked up, and we will take them to the back door. So if you're going to be here anytime after arriving around 11:30, just go to the back door and pick up your children there so that you're not driving through the parking lot during Mass. Other COVID-related protocols that we'll be following, we've talked about the mask. They will need to be worn at all times while we're in the building. If you don't, we will have a limited number of masks here if your child forgets, but it's better if they bring their own from home. There'll be hand sanitizer available when they enter the building. Like I said, we'll be taking their temperatures, and before and after class, we will be making sure that the classrooms are sanitized. We have all of the equipment to do that. We have arranged all of the classrooms so that the students will be sitting 6 feet apart. And we are asking that the biggest thing that you can do to help us out is to monitor your child's symptoms for any symptoms that they might have, and keep them home if they are sick. Obviously, we want them to be here, but we need to keep everybody safe. So if they're exhibiting any COVID or other communicable disease symptoms, we just ask that you keep them home. And we also ask that you report any positive cases to us for anyone who is in the building, so that we can report those to other families that might be affected. I also want to remind you that we do have that at-home option where you can teach your children at home. So if you're not comfortable having them here in person, or schedule conflicts come up and you want to switch to that program, that you can do that at any time. We do, some of our classes are at capacity right now, so we can't have people switching from at home to in person, but other classes do have room, so that switching is also allowed. As we go further into the year, there might be some conflicts with that, in terms of the teachers in the classroom may not be teaching the lessons in the same order that they're doing, the at-home program is doing. So it might be a little bit more difficult as the year goes on. But at this point, it's certainly fine to switch back and forth if there's room in the classrooms. If at any time it becomes necessary for us to no longer meet in person, we will switch to remote learning, and we will be teaching the classes online. We are working right now on how to best do that. We'll probably either use a platform like Zoom or possibly Microsoft Teams in order to do that. Classes will be recorded as well as given live, and it is our hope that we'll be able to find a time when everybody can participate. It might be a little bit difficult to do classes at our normal time if people are traveling to go to Mass and then need to go back home before classes start. So we might have to do some shuffling of the times, but we will work on that if it is needed. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that for several of our classes, in order to maintain the 6 feet distancing, it has been necessary to remove the tables and chairs, and so the students will be sitting on the floor in the classroom. I think that they will be completely fine sitting on the floor, but if your child would prefer to bring something to sit on, like a small pillow or a small blanket or towel, that would be completely fine. Just make sure it's not something that's too big or too distracting. We want to be able to focus. And this item will need to be brought in and taken home every week. So we will not have the ability to store that here. So that is something that I would be fine with doing. I will tell you that at this point, the 2nd grade and the 4th grade do have tables and chairs in their classroom. So those students should not have to bring anything. Okay. In the email where I sent the link, I have also included some handouts that I would generally give out in the meeting as an attachment. You should find the schedule of classes, as well as a catechist directory, so that you can have the phone number or an email address of your child's teacher should you need to contact them at any time. And then there's the general information sheet that should have all of the information that I just went over, plus other information that is more common to every year. There's things in there like how we do discipline. You'll find information in there about what happens if there's a snow day or we have to close for any reason. There's information about all different things. There's information in there, general information about sacraments, and how those are delivered. So I would like to encourage you to look that over, especially if you're new to the program. These items I'm also planning on printing out and having available to send home with your children this weekend. I'll probably send them home either with the youngest or the oldest child in your family, and so you can actually get a printout of those, but otherwise they are also attached to an email to you. If you don't get those, let me know. Also, I forgot to mention that our kindergarten and first grade classes are going to be combined this year, so there will be no classes taught during 9 o'clock Mass. They will be meeting during the regular time in between Masses. So classes will start right around 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and whenever 9 o'clock Mass is over. And our 5th and 6th grade class will also be combined. Christine Campbell will be teaching that class. She's going to be using the 6th grade book. So the 5th graders that are in there will just do that, which actually works out really well because next year the 5th and 6th grade will be our next, they will start the process of being our next confirmation class, and they'll actually move to the 7th grade book. So this is a great opportunity for them to get to use the 6th grade curriculum, which is actually really excellent, and Christine does a really good job of teaching that, so I'm excited for them. Also, I wanted to mention that our youth group, last year it was mostly our 7th and 8th graders, or 8th and 9th graders actually, that were included in that, and they met during our class time. This year we are expanding it to include the grades 7 through 12, and encouraging our current confirmation class to join them. And it's going to be we're not meeting on Sunday morning. They're going to be meeting the 1st and 3rd Saturday of every month, unless there's a conflict. They're going to be starting on the 19th. After Mass, there will be a parent and student meeting to introduce the program and what we're going to be doing this year. So both parents and students are encouraged to come, and this is a great program. They're going to be doing the Alpha program this year, which is a really great program to invite your friends to, and we encourage all of our youth to join that. Okay, so I just want to go briefly over the schedule for this year. It is attached to the email. I'll send a copy home so you can look it over, but I just want to point out a couple of things. For the most part, we usually have the last Sunday of the month off every month. There are a couple of exceptions to that. For example, this month we had the first Sunday off because it was Labor Day weekend, and so we will have classes on the last Sunday, the 27th, this month. Then we will have classes every week except for the last week of the month, every month, all the way until April, actually. And in April, we will not have classes, obviously, on the first Sunday because it'll be Easter. And then right now I have it scheduled so that we don't have classes on April 18th. And the reason that I did that is because if we were to have a garage sale in the spring, it would probably be right around that time, and we usually take a week off for that. Now, I don't know whether they're going to have a garage sale in the spring, and so it might just be an extra day off, but and also if we do, it might be at a different time. So I might have to change that date around, but we'll know more about that as time goes on. So April is a little bit different, but the rest of the months are pretty standard in terms of we have classes every week except for that last week. I also want to point out for those who have children who are preparing for sacraments, there's a few special dates. So First Reconciliation will take place in January. We're going to have our meeting/practice for that on Saturday, January 9th. It'll be in the church at 9 o'clock in the morning. That a parent, at least one parent and the child needs to attend that, and it is mandatory. The following weekend, January 16th, we will be having our First Reconciliation service in the church at 10 o'clock. And we'll be practicing for that the week before, so they'll know what to do when that comes. And then on April 25th, 24th rather, we will be having our First Communion meeting. It'll / practice. It will be on that Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in the parish. We'll meet in the parish hall and then move over to the church for practice. And then First Communion itself will be on May 1st. Now, of course, this is all assuming that that it's possible to have that happen. Last year, that all got changed around, and I'm very thankful that everybody was flexible, but we were able in June to have First Communion. So hopefully it'll happen in May this year, but that is the plan. Also, on the schedule, I have put our youth group meeting times on there, and I have also included some confirmation information on there. So for confirmation, I am hoping to have a meeting next Sunday night, September 20th, for both the parents and the students, so that we can talk about what confirmation will look like this year. That is a very important, usually it's a mandatory meeting, and this year, but because I am scheduling it kind of late, I understand that people might not be able to make it, so I will plan to try and have that recorded and also make it so that you can watch it live, but virtually for those who don't feel comfortable coming in person. But I do need to get that information to you, because there's a lot of information that goes into preparing for confirmation. At this point, I have just this week gotten information from the cathedral about dates, and so I'm working on getting a date, and I will let you know what the date for the confirmation will be. It'll probably be in April. So, but I will let you know for sure when we find that out.